You haven't realized it, haven't you? The one thing that actually holds you back to achieve most of the success you want in the world. The person you aspire to be. To influence tons and tons of young men to the pursuit of self-improvement. And in order to achieve those, you have to put yourself in total concentration, both physically and mentally, to achieve most of the success you want in life. So what is it that the majority of people, especially teenagers like you, nowadays had overlooked? It's the fact that you're all actually sleep deprived. It is as simple as that. Your body needs it. Your mind needs it. Your muscle after a vigorous workout needs it. Everything in your life needs rest. By now, if you are in the space of self-improvement, sleep should most probably in your list of improving. I saw way too many teenagers either sleep too less or too late. And what actually funny is that I suddenly asked a group of friends of mine when did they actually went to bed and how long did they sleep for. And suddenly it became quite of a routine for us to actually autistically tell each other and report to each other just to compare who sleep the longest and the earliest, which in my opinion is quite a healthy and special routine we had. And for you who now watching, maybe after this video, you can go find a friend or even your siblings, even or your parents, to actually want them to actually help you check up for your sleep schedule. Sleep, in my opinion, is one of, if not the best return on investment activity you can do to indirectly increase your success and your looks, which in the modern day is an important factor to relationship or dating. So in terms of physically, sleep actually allows you to get a proper rest without you actually scrolling through social media in the middle of the night thinking that it actually gives you some rest. And to recover your damaged tissue after a vigorous workout, and I love to quote it as, a healthy body comes with a healthy mind. Your mental health, or I like to say, the brain of you, which literally control everything you do in life. The way you speak, the way you think, and how you perceive a situation whenever you're thinking positively instead of the negative one. And the placebo effect, which is the effect of the terms of belief, all correlates with your mental health. Why do you think that the majority of people indulge in instant gratification where they know that this kind of action are bad to them? It's because their mind are messed up, like seriously messed up. They can't even think logically or rationally. This is why we have the saying of post-nut clarity. It's the situation where a person after busted a nut and then he will realize that it was all a mistake. Same with your day-to-day life. If you don't have a clear mind, all your action will be led by pleasure and procrastination. You have already now watched a bunch of Joe Rogan podcasts with the famous sleep expert Matthew Walker, which I believe is the most famous person when we are talking about sleep. And in the podcast, he actually gives tons of information and statistics about the reality of sleep. And one of his best advice that I have heard is that you actually need more sleep than you actually realize. So for instance, if you want to get 8 hours of sleep, you have to actually sleep for 9 or even 10 hours in bed. So why do you think that he had come to this conclusion? Do you ever realize that after you lay on bed, you actually need to spend 10, 20 or even half an hour to actually fall asleep? You have to actually put this time into account and realize that your sleep doesn't equal to the time you spend on bed. And even if you think what I'm saying is nonsense, go search up Matthew Walker, since he's a professional, and actually listen and read what he had to say about sleep. You say, Ivan, how do I actually sleep faster and to get proper rest? The army tactic or even the think nothingness is quite effective, but in my experience, it's way too complicated for a guy like me. There's actually 2 ways to do it, and I'm not going to waste your time. The first way is to actually relate your bedroom or even your bed to rest, sleep, or pleasure if you ever want to have sex with a woman. Never ever think about work, fitness, all those kind of topics once you decide the place you want to set it to be. Never talk about it and don't even think about it. Once you identify in your mind that after I've done the work and once I lay down, all I think about is only rest and pleasure. Once you actually implement this advice, you realize that it will drastically reduce your stress and thinking when you are laying in bed. The second way is quite obvious. In order to sleep, you actually have to be tired. And in order to tire both mentally and physically, you have to do the things that actually tire them. So let's talk about physically. Do intense workout, not those Tabata, those kind of pussy ass workout that you saw online that gets 90 million of views where those persons are fat and lazy. And mentally, which is the more trickier part, you just essentially have to do the work that requires tons of your mental strength. Like for this channel, I actually have to write the script and think back of the experience that I have and to share it with you, to write down everything I have in this computer, to record the video and actually edit it. And I'm sure that if you do something similar like this, there's actually no way you can't sleep and to be full of energy tomorrow. And always remember, when pursuing big goals, don't worry about time, because time will pass anyways.